Surprise Synopses.
Surprise Synopsis.
Surprise Synopses? Harley's log. I'm deep in the Amazonian rainforest, and I need to find them. They're the only hope. What? A cabin in these woods? Never heard of. But I need to find them, the old heroes.
Hello.
Yes. Is this a superhero who disregarded their superheroic life and left to exile themselves?
Yes, who's calling?
It's Harley of the Captain's Log. The world needs your powers once more.
I'm not convinced.
Okay.
Okay, I'm convinced.
Just remind me again. What was your superpower? What were you really amazing at?
Oh, I was the best in the world at basketball. I'm better than Michael Jordan even.
Okay. I guess the
Too
world
good, some said.
needs your help.
To dunk on the haters.
All right. Meet me back at the headquarters while I go and find the other hero that the world needs.
All right. I'm a bounce.
Wow. He's gone.
He's a very good dribbler.
All right. A hop, a skip, a jump, and a 3-point shot later. Here I am in the forests of Mozambique. Does Mozambique have forests?
Now they do.
Just roll with it.
Looking. Oh,
Probably,
my God.
probably not anymore.
Look
Thanks
at
for
that
warming.
hut built into the side of a waterfall.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Oh, you get the cool one.
Yeah.
Hello? Is this the other...
A gentleman caller.
Alex.
My God, are you the other hero that the world needs, but they self-exiled themselves 20 years ago this very night, so they couldn't be called upon to help?
I have no comment. Speak to my lawyer.
Okay. And when I ask your lawyer, what is your lawyer going to say is your super special ability that you're really good at?
Chess playing.
Okay.
Checkmate.
All right, I'll guess this will have to save the world. But what happens next? Find out when the adventures of Basketball Man and Checkmate Lass continue next episode of Surprise Synopses, the show where we take a trope out of a hat, a genre out of a different hat, and make a surprise synopsis. My name is Harley. He is...
Damien.
And she is...
Also Alex. Wait, just Alex.
You're the only Alex we have. Are you crazy?
I'm just also here, was
Oh,
what
okay.
my brain thought.
And, yeah, so let's get trope with it.
Okay. Here's a hat.
Can I just point out,
No.
that you
Oh, stop the show. Damien
I'll
has
put
to
the
know.
hat back down.
that checkmate lady, like, come on, checkmate queen, no, okay. I mean, I'm basketball man.
Yeah.
I didn't name you. Take it up with Alex's lawyer.
Oh, jeez.
Here's a real question. When you
Yes.
guys play chess, do you make a little horsey noise when you move the knight?
Yes, you
Is
have to.
there any
Otherwise,
other
it's
way
not
to
a legal
play?
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Good. At least we're all on the same page.
If you do that,
And you
need
make
to
the
make
click clock noise, and you make them go like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. If you don't do that, you have to give up a pawn. That's a
Yeah.
lesser known rule of chess.
Yeah. Kasparov was real mean about that one.
Yeah. And if you get all your pawns on one side of the board and they're all in a cluster, it's a pawn hub.
Womp, 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 womp. Tropes, please.
But I'm
That's
Tish.
where you look up all that arm sweat. Pit sweat porn.
That's what I like.
Got it out of
apparently.
my... That was a real tongue twister.
Okay, I've rifled around, and our trope for tonight is Amnesia.
Oh my
Extra
God.
extra point.
The best trope. Can we do a 3-5
I forgot what that is.
On a personal note, after watching like a lot of TV shows and movies that have amnesia, I've always wanted to get amnesia. I think it's just
Anterograde or retrograde?
retrograde amnesia.
Oh, fair enough.
What's the other one?
Anterograde.
What's that?
Can't form new memories.
Oh, that's sad.
No, that one
That
sucks.
sucks. That's like that's like dementia.
No, because you get to be like, oh, what? Who even am I? What does my face look like? Where did I live? And everything's like strange and new.
2004 was my best year, and I don't remember anything else.
And according to TV shows, you always get your memory back at the end anyway,
Yeah,
right?
just some cognitive recalibration, percussive maintenance.
Man, I feel like this is like, it's almost not even worth doing like a what TV shows have used amnesia.
I have a real life example.
Oh.
I had a friend who like tripped over and his head on a brick and had amnesia and like forgot all about the last, like, I don't know. I can't really remember. We weren't very close. like if it was like 3 years beforehand or something, and he had like a girlfriend, and then they like broke up, and I had like this conspiracy theory that it was all just bullshit, and he just wanted to break up with the girlfriend, and he like didn't know how, so he pretended he had amnesia, because I was definitely the type of person who would do something like that.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my god.
That
if
is
he was
an
listening
amazing
this,
story.
Soz.
You shouldn't have brought it up, because that would have been an amazing synopsis.
Oh fuck! God damn it! Can we cut that bit so I can put it in my... We'll see if it works, and then if we'll cut this bit. If not, people are like, oh wow, they do that?
You must make a better offering to beseech the god of editing, future me.
I will not push you down the stairs.
The future god will consider your kind proposal.
I'm not sure not doing a bad thing is the same as doing a good thing.
Do you want to go down the stairs?
I don't want amnesia. Not like this.
There's no bricks down there.
Forgot how to walk properly.
Because your neck's broken. I have neck amnesia.
Amnesia. Does anyone have like a favorite example of a TV show or movie that's used amnesia as a device?
Now that you've put me on the spot, I've forgotten all the examples.
I really like the amnesia in the film version of Addams Family, where their Uncle Fester has disappeared, and they get some guy that looks like Uncle Fester to pretend that he's the guy, and he goes in undercover and he's trying to like get their gold vault or whatever. So the whole thing of the show is like he's trying to blend in and like pretend he's this guy, and he's clearly not, and they're all just like buying it, and it's a way of meeting the family and introducing them all and whatever. And at the end, you find out he is actually that guy, and he just had amnesia the whole time. Oh. And he's like, so he's been pretending to be himself with his memories.
So that's why they were all buying it, because it was actually him.
Because they're like, oh, it's definitely him. Yeah. And they were right, it was him.
Wow.
That's a good twist.
Yeah.
I love the Addams Family. I haven't seen it.
So instead of getting it, like, forgetting who he is at the start, he, like, remembers who he is at the end. It's backwards.
That's fun.
Ooh. No, I'm seriously out of examples.
There's a lot of those movies or TV shows. I think there's one recently, and they're like, it's like some superhuman person who's super good at fighting, and then they like wake up somewhere random and they've got amnesia. They don't remember anything, and they go like, there's the one where she like got out of like a bag in the middle of a city or something, and she was naked. And I think there's another one coming out at the moment that's pretty much the same thing. I think they just do it over and over again. It's like superhuman can fight, and they remember all that, but they remember nothing else, and then they like become human or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Captain Marvel had amnesia, right?
Did he?
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah, totally. Oh, spoilers
She
for anyone
did.
that hasn't
Who?
seen Captain Marvel.
Is Captain Marvel a lady?
Yes.
Yes, asterisk.
Yes. She's currently a lady.
Marvel,
Yes.
Captain Marvel is a lady. DC Captain Marvel is actually Shazam, which is a dude.
Although Marvel Captain Marvel has also been a guy.
Yeah.
In the way that comic books characters are like, they kind of like move the mantle onto someone else. Like different people play the role of the heroes.
Oh.
So at the moment it's a girl, but it has been a guy previously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Captain Marvel has a bit of a screwy history on all sides like that. Yep.
Okay, who's ready to forget everything first?
I want to go in the middle this week.
You
Alex?
then.
Oh.
Damien asked, Alex commanded.
Okay, my Amnesia film is going to be a horror Amnesia.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do a horror Amnesia. This will be great. Okay, so what's going to happen is there's going to be a man, and the opening is going to be similar to Saw, and then he kind of like wakes up and he's like, oh, what's even going on here? There's like, I'm in this kind of like dungeon, and there's these people that are like kind of dead all around me, and he's like, I got to get out of here. This is horrifying, and he escapes, and he's like in his quest to figure out like why he was in that dungeon or whatever, because he has no memory of himself. He's trying to like look himself up and asking people, "Oh, have you met me?" And
so he got out then.
Yeah, he got out. He managed to just like kind of run straight out of there. And the police are investigating it, and he doesn't want to go back because he doesn't want to get in trouble because he doesn't know if he was involved or whatever. And he's like, his only clue is like the fact that he was at this crime scene. So he's like, okay, well, I must be connected to it somehow. Like, you know, maybe I was abducted with the other people, or you know, maybe I was related to one of them, or something along those lines. So he's like trying to work out who he is and what the rules of the society is. Because he's got no money. He's just got like a trench coat and he's naked under it, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, so he's living as a hobo and he's like trying to follow this police investigation. And they've got like clues and he like talks to the cops. And it's this thing where he's like, he doesn't want to get like caught and he's worried that he's being followed or like, and someone sees him and responds to him really weirdly. And he's like, wait, do you know me? And the person just like kind of runs off and is like, wait, no, come back. And he's like, damn it, the person like got away and they're going to tell someone about me and never mind, I'm not safe here. And he kind of like follows it through. And then towards the end, you realize that it's like, oh, the police are like circling in on this guy's like lair, this killer's lair. And he's like a serial killer who's abducted people before and whatever. And he like, he gets to ride along with one of the cops because he's like kind of made friends with this cop who's like a sympathetic side character. So he jumps in the car and he's like tagging along and they're like, all right, you stay in the car. And if you remember anything, like let us know, but otherwise we're going to go in. And he like, the cops go up and they go onto this property and they're all fanning out. And he gets out of the car and like goes through. And then he like wanders away from the main house and finds like kind of a side, like a shack. And he opens it up and he finds like the killer's like clothes and whatever. And there's like a photo on the desk and it's him. And he's like, wait, what the heckaroo?
Just of him?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or of like him with a fish or something. So it's
Yeah.
like the kind of thing you would, like having caught a big impressive fish. And he's like, wait, what? And he like looks through the things and he's starting to recall like, oh wait, hang on, maybe I have been here before. And it's like all flashing back to him. And he's like, wait, I used to live at this place. Like, what's going on here? Did I get abducted from here? And then the killer's using this place as a hideout. And then they kind of go into the main room with the cops and they're like, yes, now we've figured out who owns this place. And it's actually this person whose real name is this. And they pull up a photo and it's this guy. And it's like, he's the killer. And what happened was he was like doing this like dastardly murder and he slipped over and hit his head and got amnesia. So he's been like tracking himself the whole time. Ooh. And the reason that someone acted weird around him is because he was like a victim that he'd encountered but had gotten away. So it wasn't actually that the person was after him at all. So it's like this kind of cat and mouse and like he's always one step behind and then he's like, wait a minute, I'm the guy I've been looking for.
So he's one step behind himself.
Yeah. In a kind of, what's the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger on Mars? Total Recall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a Total Recall style thing of like his past personality is different to what he wakes up with. And then as he remembers it all, he integrates it and he's like, oh man, like, yeah, actually I'm the killer. Ha ha ha. And like slashes the throat of the cop that was his friend and slices him up a treat and then like makes it get away. And then the cops like do him in at the last minute, like, you know, shoot him with their pistols. Bang, bang.
They shot him down.
Bang, bang, bang. Cop is dead.
Fuck the police. Fuck the police. Yeah. That's my Amnesia horror.
Wow, yeah. No,
I like that.
That was good. That was a wild, thrilling ride.
Yep.
Good job.
I really like the idea of someone being one step behind themselves.
Yeah. Right?
It's like, who could be so dastardly? Like, even I might not think to do X. What if I did?
Yeah. And if he's finding the clues and stuff and then he's like, oh, no, I actually do have... I remember this. Yeah. So I'm like, it is all starting to come back to me. I must have been, like, his prisoner.
I'm not necessarily convinced that I could outwit myself, but I am the sort of person who might leave a narratively satisfying, thrilling set of, you know, clues behind about something, and I would follow them.
Like, deliberately, you mean?
Yeah.
Do like a Riddler. Like, you want to get caught.
Not like necessarily on that spin, but more like, you know, I would leave that sort of theatrical level of, ooh, to, you know... To
tantalize and entice possible pursuance.
Yeah. I have a bit, you know, I like some theatricality in my life. Bit of show and tell.
No, not me. It's all just anonymous killings for me. just no clues. In and out.
So your new app is Killer with no E.
And you're the Zodiac Killer.
That's Ted Cruz. And that's not a conspiracy theory. That's conspiracy fact.
Mm-hmm. There can be new ones.
Look it up, Alex.
You're going to be the horoscope killer.
The horoscope killer. We found this aquarian person and are dead in the aquarium. Who could have killed them?
But it's like horror scope killer.
Ooh.
It's like extra horror.
Are we about to be the next Blumhouse?
All right. Wait, are you? Who's next? You're going.
Yeah,
in the middle.
I really, really windmill slammed going second, didn't I?
He's a middle boy. Neither a top nor a bottom.
He's a verse.
A verse?
Versatile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're a song. I like the bit when you said Leia instead of Lair. It made me giggle.
Oh, did
I
I?
was thinking
Yeah,
about
you like
that.
said Leia very like twice. You're like,
Yeah, they go
the
back
Leia.
to the killer's layer.
The layer.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which layer of the killer?
You know, the dermal layer.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Killing
He-
his
he-
only skin
He gets
teeth.
to the skin. Yeah.
All right, my genre is space adventure. Oh boy. All right, so we open on a one shot. A
Oh,
spaceship
for
crashes
fuck's sake.
on a foreign planet.
That's what you came up with.
I came up with that instantaneously,
One
Damien.
shot.
What are you talking about? So, spaceship crashes. And someone drags himself out of the crash and like, the fuck is any of that?
Is it kind of like an Earth-like planet? Like, were you suspecting that this is crashing on Earth, or is it like kind of an alien vista?
It's sort of it's Earth-ish, but it's clearly alien.
But everything's blue and red.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're like, the fuck is any of that? And they, have to pull them out and pull themselves out of the wreckage and like try and survive for a little bit. And they're
Lost. There's 8 seasons of it. Nothing makes sense. Just on Mars.
no comment, J.J. Abrams. And the next day, they're like, oh, okay, I guess I should go and find out what happened there. And they find another astronaut trapped in the rubble. And they're like, oh my god, I have to save that person, I guess, whoever they are. So they pull them out, miraculously they're alive. And they're like, well, we're stuck on a planet, what do we do now? And they're like, well, I guess we gotta go forage for food or something. And they start exploring the planet, but then things get weird. Like,
King K.
not that kind of weird, Alex.
Chicka wow. She's like, what if I was the man this time?
What is it? What's that movie? Is it something Mountain? Brokeback Mountain?
Brokeback
Brokeback Mountain.
That wasn't weird. That was
Mix
just a
of-
lovely, normal.
I said, what's that movie?
Oh yeah.
So they
Mix
go
of Lost and Brokeback
hunt
Mountain on Mars.
a space
Brokeback
deer.
Mars.
And when they do, this fairy shows up and harasses them. Like,
Fairy.
yeah, like an actual honest to goodness fairy, like, 6 inches tall. Being,
What?
what the hell have you two done? You've killed my pet. And they're like,
Oh dear.
yeah. And so they run, and the fairy starts chasing them, and then there's a fun little chase sequence, but then like the fairy gets close, and they're like, oh, you're just really small. We thought you were really far away. And then they just grab up a tree branch and they do like a little baseball joke of like setting up the fairy and knocking it off. And then they go and eat some space deer. And like, well, this is good, but who the fuck are you and who the fuck am I? And what is any of this? While that's happening, we cut back to NASA headquarters back on Earth, and Mission Control's in a fucking meltdown because they've got cameras on the ship so they can see what's happening. And they're like, did they survive the crash? We don't know, but is that a fairy on the camera? What the hell is happening? Like, the supernatural is clearly not a thing, and NASA's freaking the fuck out. Not only did 2 of their astronauts possibly die in an exploratory mission, but they're discovering that maybe there's more to this reality than they knew.
Did others die, or was there only ever 2?
We don't know.
Okay.
And so they keep exploring, and they come across a city, and they enter the city, and it's, a fantasy city. There's like goblins and kings and queens and dragons and dwarves and things. And there's a bit of, fun and games as they explore the city, get to know the place.
If they look under the spaceship, do they see 2 like ruby slippers with like stripy stockings from the witch underneath?
If
Like-
only.
You got a space house. Let it on the witch. We're free.
Yeah. And as you do in fantasy adventures in space, you get in front of the king of the region, and the king's like, travelers from a far off land. And they look at their clothes, which are, modern NASA spacesuits, but the helmet visor bit's busted. And they look at everyone else in like, medieval clothes and like, yes, this is clearly true. And so the king is like, yes, you can settle in my kingdom, but you must go on a mission for me. You must go to the moon, Elelios, and kill the Minotaur on the moon, and then you can settle in my kingdom. And they're like, what if we don't want to? And he's just like, we will just kill you.
Rude. Wait, if they've got soldiers that can kill the astronauts, like if they're better in combat than astronauts, why wouldn't they send those people to go kill the Minotaur?
Because they're busy protecting the king, Damien.
Oh, that's fair enough. If they got a full schedule, then that's totally understandable. Yeah.
They're going to do a podcast at 9.
And I got shit to do.
So they have a fun little arming up mission, and then they get there's a hilarious like wooden contraption that takes them to the moon, like it's a paddle boat steamer or something, but in space. And there's a fun little montage of them fixing their spacesuits so they can breathe up there and whatever.
So they're just kind of steampunking it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they get to the moon, and they're like, oh, that's a building over there. That must be where the Minotaur is. Except there's clearly a lunar module parked out the back. But since they don't really have a memory of where they're from or what happened, they don't understand what it is.
Uh-huh.
And they go inside, and the Minotaur is just having like a lovely peaceful dinner with this other third astronaut.
Is it like a full Minotaur? Like,
yeah.
Like.
Oh, I thought the
Yes.
space probe thing was the Minotaur.
Oh, no.
No, okay.
And the guy looks up and is like, what? You two? You left me for dead on this moon. I'm going to kill you. Get him, Minotaur. And then there's like a sick tag team fight. They bust up the house.
Oh, not Minotaur's house.
Yeah. They trash it. Like, while the lady astronaut is busy keeping the other two at bay, the male astronaut just goes out, picks up decorative crockery, and just deliberately, like, doesn't even smash it, just drops it on the ground.
Oh, Minotaur doesn't deserve that.
And he's like, oops, I guess I broke the thing. And the Minotaur's like, no, my mother gave me that.
I got that when I was in a china shop.
Dun, 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 dun. And so they eventually prevail. They punch the bad astronaut's helmet out, so he just starts suffocating.
Oh no!
And they're
It sounds like he was just upset because he got dogged. But
yeah,
alright,
clearly,
well,
no, that's definitely the tone
I
that's
guess
happening
we'll
here.
kill him.
Alex, you might be reading into the exact tone of the scene correctly. You get a gold star.
It's the first rule of space. You don't dog the boys.
But then they kill him.
And so
It's a double
he's
dog.
suffocating, and the male astronaut is just like, this is really depressing. So he just kicks him in the crotch and launches him because, gravity's real loose up here. So then he just flies away. And then the Minotaur's beaten and bloody and broken on the middle of his lounge room floor. And he's like, what are you going to do now? Kill me? You'll never get the heart of Helios. And they're like, what's the heart of Helios? This is the first thing we've heard of it. And he's like, the heart of Helios is the only thing that can kill the immortal king of that planet over there. And they're like, yeah, all right, we'll take it. And he's like, but no, it's my heart. I need that. And it cuts to them walking away as their house is burning down, just bouncing his heart in their hand.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on. Yep. How does he know that's the only thing? Has he tried that with other Minotaur hearts? And he's like, yeah.
There's mythology.
Okay.
We're building a world.
All right.
And
It's like dropping him in lava won't do.
as they're flying back to the planet that they crash landed on,
Yeah.
one of their radio suits comes back to life. And it's, hello, we finally got you. And they're like, what? We think you might have gotten amnesia in the crash on the planet and forgotten who you are. And then that's when things get even worse. They turn the radio off, and then there's a flashback of them like, haha, let's abandon Johnson on the moon. It'll be fucking funny. And then they do, but Johnson was also the space engineer, so they crashed the rocket ship because he wasn't there to engineer it in through space.
Oh.
Yeah. It turns out our protagonists, in inverted commas, are just straight up bad bitches. So they go back to the main planet, use the heart of Helios to kill the king, and then subjugate all of his, kingdom. And then when they're finally sitting upon their thrones, having, pretty much enslaved the planet, they take off their spacesuits, and it reveals Union Jacks. NASA's been taken over by England. This is more colonization. Boom.
Oh. Wait. What?
The end.
I'm left with more questions.
That means you want a sequel, Damien.
I might read like the official novel to gain more insight into this strange world. I was so ready for like they just hit their heads really hard, and this was all some kind of bad. This has a
Oh my god, you spat on him
I'm sorry.
right in the face.
Didn't even say anything particularly funny.
That was so
I've been
mean.
attacked.
Jesus.
Astronaut Harley has dogged the boys.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all for my questions. Thank you.
Alex.
What the fuck,
No, don't do it,
Harley?
Alex. We'll spit on you too.
Yeah, I have no questions. That was a statement. Someone can't take like criticism very well.
She's Louise.
Sorry, that was... Oh, boy. Mea culpa on that one. That one was on me.
Oofed.
Big mood.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of adventure.
Yeah. I tried to fit in as much adventure as I could.
Alrighty, and now we come to the to part 3.
Yeah.
Bring it home.
The third spit.
Please do more spitting. I'll be good.
The spitting will continue until morale improves.
And that's when things got really weird.
Union Jack. He's colonizing your face.
Bam! You've been colonized.
Germs and possible amnesia.
Who are you people?
Why am I here? Genuinely asking, no amnesia.
To do your synopsis.
All right. Well, I've got romance.
Oh.
Ah,
Well, have fun.
Okay, I'm gonna think.
romance amnesia. You know, there was a film that did romance amnesia. It was
Wasn't that the Adam Sandler movie?
no.
Oh,
What?
okay.
Or 51st Dates. Or 21st Dates. Or
Did see
51st
it because unlike you, Harley, I don't watch Adam Sandler films.
I didn't watch this film.
It wasn't bad.
He lied. No, the one with Sandra Bullock. No,
Nope. Sorry.
while you were sleeping.
While I was sleeping, what?
That's the name of the. Oh, you guys. Don't do Trip Dog.
No,
Sandra Bullock
seriously,
films might be too old for you.
I've never
young
even
whippersnappers.
heard
Oh,
of...
Notebook. One is actually good. That's amnesia. Well, it's like
Is it?
dementia.
I
But
haven't seen
yeah,
it.
it's like, so the Notebook is like, he's written the story of their lives in the notebook and he reads it to her, and by the end of the book she like remembers, and sometimes she'll remember for like a couple days or like a couple hours, and they like remember, and then they're like having dinner together, but then it like comes back and she's like, who are you? And then they die together like snugly in bed.
Oh.
Oh.
So you're like listening to the Notebook as a story, and
Yep.
then it turns out like he's just telling her our story, and she's like, oh, that's such a lovely story, and then she's like, that was us.
Oh.
I think amnesia is probably so like frequently used.
Y'all
in-
should no. You need to read the Notebook.
Okay,
Or
I'll-
watch it. Up to
It's
you.
a film.
I think it's a
I'll
film.
watch
It
it.
might also be a book. I'm
I'm
pretty
not
sure.
going to commit to reading
It's
it.
a good film.
So I think amnesia
Come
is
back
probably
next
so
week. I want you. I
frequently
want to.
used because like we come into stories like not knowing anything about the setting, and so too does someone that has amnesia. So it's
Yeah.
like it's a really good like way to be
Learn
like
about
this
the
person's
world.
got amnesia, so everything needs to be explained to them.
Yep.
And you're explaining to the audience as well. I can see the appeal of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so our protagonist is a man who is in a hospital bed, like in just a regular public hospital.
Yep.
And he wakes up and he's like had some sort of injuries. He's been in some sort of accident. He's like head injuries and like, but nothing too serious, like a broken arm or something, but like mostly head injury, but like still can function fine. And in the room, there's 6 other beds, and there's like an old person across from him, an old man, and then there's like some other people across from him, and then next to him is a woman who also has head injuries and is like in a way worse state and is like comatose. And like a nurse comes in, he's like, oh, you've woken up, and he's like, where am I? Who am I? Amnesia. He's got it. He's in it. He's around it. Don't spit on anyone.
Yeah, I'm putting my hand on the shield now. I can't be trusted.
So yeah, he's got amnesia. The nurse comes in and is like, oh, you were in a car accident with your wife and she passed away, and or she isn't doing very well or something like that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's like, or maybe she doesn't even say, she's just like, you're in a car accident, your name's this, and like we're gonna help you get better. And she's like asking him questions, and Chief realizes that he has amnesia, like pretty severely, and like remembers nothing about his life. And so she's like, okay, and like goes about looking at the woman next to him and like checks out the thing and like writes a big thing down on it and like goes away. And the next day, so these are, we'll say we're in their 40s, like mid 40s. The next day, a like 20-year-old girl with two 3-year-olds come in to see the woman next to him.
Yeah.
And they come in and they're like crying and they're like, oh my God, mum, and they're like grandma, and they're like talking, and they like start talking to the man. And like, oh, hi, like, this is us, like, nice to meet you. And he's like, oh, like, what happened to your mum? And they're like, oh, she was in a car crash. The dad was driving and he was drunk. And he, like, hit another car. And so they're both in hospital, the dad's somewhere else. He's, like, critical as well. And she's, like, going to come out of it, hopefully. But she's in a coma at the moment. And she's, like, not doing well. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they're like, yeah. Oh, like, she's such a lovely lady, like, saying all these nice things about the mum. And he's like, oh, wow, she sounds like this, like, wonderful woman. Like, yeah, she's such a great mum. Anyway, we've got to go. We'll be back in the next couple of days. We'll come back. And he's like, wow, this poor woman, like, this man, like, you know, did this to her. Like, I feel so bad for her. Like, she had such a lovely family. And he's, like, sort of pissed off about it. And he, like, talks to the nurse. And he's like, oh, what happened to the, like, her husband? And he's like, oh, like, he's doing okay, actually, he's awake, but like he's like somewhere else just because of what happened. They're like, oh wow, okay. And the 2 more days later comes back in, they come back in, and the daughter comes back in, and now she's got a brother with her, and he seems a bit more agitated with the guy and doesn't really want to talk, but the girl's like, oh, like, they're so lovely, and like, you know, they really were a nice couple until, like, you know, he lost his job and got into drinking, and she's like telling them stories, and it sort of does a bit of a flashback into like this woman, and like you never really see the husband, but it's like him sort of imagining her telling the stories about their lives and all these lovely things they did together, and he's like, oh wow, like this beautiful woman, like wow, she's like, she seems like I'm so sorry this has happened to you, and they're like, oh thank you, and like the little kids come up and like give him a hug, and he's like, oh that's weird, but like thank you small child, and they like run out and leave. And he's like, God, like, fuck this guy. He's such an asshole. Like, I can't believe he'd done this. Like, if that was me, like, I would never do that to my wife. This is disgusting. And then they come in, like, the third time, and one of the nurses is in with them and, like, says the last name of the woman, and it's the same as his. And he's like, holy fucking shit. And it all sort of just hits him, and he's the husband. No. And because he's had amnesia, no one has said anything to him. And he's like, holy fucking shit, what have I done? He like gets out of the bed and he's like holding his hand. He's like, I'm so fucking sorry. Like, and you can like see her crying, like in the coma. And he's like, I'm like, sorry, I shouldn't have done this to you.
Coma crying.
Yeah. And then
that's how you know it's serious.
She like starts like going into like death. Like it's like she's like flatlining. The doctors and stuff all come in and they like come and grab and they like, rush her out. And he's like standing there like, oh my God, I've done this to my wife. Yeah. Like I've been next to her this whole time and I've done nothing to help her. And they like, yeah, she like died.
Oh, okay, just straight up.
Yeah, they lose her. They're like, she's gone, and he's like sitting there like, wow, I've like done this.
Wow,
and,
he
like,
really killed his wife.
And the brother and the son and the daughter's there, and they're like standing there with the two little girls, and the son's like, this is your fault, like yelling at you. He's like, it's like she'll never forgive you, and he like storms out, and the daughter's like, I don't know, she just like sort of like crying, and she just like leaves, and he's just like sitting there thinking like, wow, like I had so much hatred for this man and like judged him so harshly, but it was me.
I am this man.
And then presumably there's a romance element.
Well, the romance is because I forgot, she wasn't meant to die. They were meant to like come back together and fix their relationship. But I feel like the dying thing's more me, because the romance is like he's romanticizing a relationship with her that he didn't have, but he actually did have it.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, he's like thinking about the way they used to be.
Yeah, but not knowing it actually was him. He's like, wow, they had such this amazing relationship. Like, how could he do this to her? Maybe, she can survive, and then they can, like, he, like, fixes himself, he gets a new job and stops being an alcoholic. Well, are you happy now? Is it romantic enough for you?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so she comes, like, she cries, and that makes her wake up. And then
they're waking
like,
to cries, not dying
not death
cries.
All right, you happy? She wakes up, and then they're all better. He's like, I'll never drink again, and they all
I'm
do
trying
a
to help
family
you
hug.
like stick to your genre, right?
No,
stay
fuck
in
the
your
genre.
lane.
I know. I think Alex's first one was a better movie.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, like, what's this Hallmark stuff? Oh, they get together at the end. No, death and sadness.
He
are the
doesn't
only
deserve
news.
her.
I'm actually bitter because halfway through when you were talking, I was thought of something better for mine one that I've already done.
Oh.
Damn it.
What did you think of?
Oh, there should be two of them with amnesia, and one of them's the killer and one of them's the victim, and they both get amnesia,
Oh, yeah.
and then they're both trying to solve it together. That'd be way more better.
Yeah.
Buddy cop
yeah,
amnesia.
they
Yeah,
buddy
they both
cop, and
think
then it's
they're
like, yeah, it'd be way
And
cooler.
I realise one's the fox and one's the hound.
Too late, Damien.
Did you see it coming? That he was the husband?
No, well,
A little bit.
yeah, a little.
Yeah. Well, I guess it is like a just synopsis thing. It's a bit obvious.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't really bring in anyone else in the room.
100%. The only difference was I thought he was going to throw himself out the window at the end.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
be like, well, I judge that guy harshly. Either I'm right or I'm a hypocrite. Or
Yeah, so he kills himself so
Yeah.
they can be together in death. There you go, romance. Blech.
Wow.
Except when he floats up to heaven to see him,
They're like, hell no.
she's just like, nah, dog.
Oh, hell no.
Nothing,
no,
nothing
oh,
more.
hell yes. And he
Yeah.
starts going down.
Push the elevator button, like shutting the doors.
Closed doors, closed doors, closed doors.
Nothing more romantic than a murder
Alex's new
suicide.
movie, Closed Doors on Heaven, coming soon.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Gets a soft pass for romance. Lots of amnesia though. Top points for amnesia.
Thank you.
Oh, the Russian judge holding out on story a little bit.
In the movie, the romance is more there. I just
Oh yeah.
It's more visual.
yeah, it's a visual romance of his
Movies
imagination.
are a visual
of this,
medium,
of
Damien.
this-
How foolish of me to
Yeah.
not incorporate that into
You ning nong.
while listening to a podcast.
They couldn't remember what it was. It's fine. It's fine, guys.
I
Right?
think you had
Right,
genre
guys?
amnesia.
Yeah, I should have had hospital drama.
And then Alex does his whole pitch, and only at the end does she remember it's meant to be a romance.
I looked at it. I was like, no, fuck it.
What happens when our heroes reunite for the first time in 20 years?
It's me, basketball dude, but I've rebranded as the Dribbler.
And I am Chess Lass, also rebranded as
Checkmate. Queen.
Checkmate Queen.
Oh, hey there, Checkmate Queen. Been a long time
Another gentleman caller.
since you betrayed our partnership and went off with the Dark Knight.
Checkmate isn't in chess, is it? That's checkers. No, I'm thinking of checkers. No, it's fine. I was thinking of checkers earlier.
Classic chess humor from the world's foremost chess player who definitely knows the rules of chess. That was a 3-point shot of humor.
Will our heroes be able to reconcile their differences and their knowledge of their respective games? Find out
Unlikely.
next time on The Heroes of Surprise Synopses.
Dribbler.
Surprise Synopses is brought to you by the Waterfall Stories Network. Alex Gabb's case notes is airing now. Find the links to this and more at waterfallstories.com. Want to drop us a line? Cowabunga, dude. Then do it on YouTube,
Radical.
YouTube,
Bodacious.
Facebook, or on the website where you can hit us up on the Contact Us page. There is a straw poll in the comments and description and episode notes below where you can vote on who had the best amnesia. Nearly forgot there. Any plugs? Anyone else?
Twitter. Have you done that yet?
Oh yeah, the Twitter is live. There's links in the show notes below.
Yeah, there's heaps of
Follow
Twitter.
Damien
Yeah.
has at least one good quote from this episode up right now.
He's twit so hard.
So tweet. Keep up with all the funky fresh tweets that are, like, even predate the episode
yeah.
airings. Yes.
Links in the show notes below.
Yeah, suss us out on Twitter. Give us a follow.
Give us a tweet.
Yeah,
Do you tweet?
I don't know.
Retweet. Tweet it.
Yeah, give us a
Favorite?
retweet.
Give it a love
Like.
heart. I'm sure there's love hearts.
Press.
Everything has
Just
love hearts.
smash them buttons.
Yeah,
Yep.
double tap.
Always double tap.
Swipe right.
Rule 31 of Zombieland. Always double tap.
Swipe right so hard.
And that's been Surprise Synopses. Kay, thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
My hands are so sweaty.
Knees weak.
Tropes already.
Mum's lasagna.